Hi, so in this video, I'm going to discuss the alcohol rocket. It's going to be kind of a fun to try to actually see if we can make a small rocket out of the alcohol vapor actually. And so to do that, we're going to first look at understanding the phase diagram of the mix between alcohol and liquid. And so let's start with the vapor phase. So this is like the vapor phase, which exists at high concentration of alcohol and high temperature. So we basically just have a vapored alcohol there. Now the other phase is sort of the liquid phase. So in this phase we have, again, it can be a mix of water and alcohol, but it's really in liquid form. And then in between we have sort of a coexistence of liquid and vapor. And so if I draw that sort of in these different colors, we really have sort of a mixture. So it's not clearly in this, so in this region of temperature and alcohol concentration, you cannot really define it as being either liquid or vapor, but it's somewhere a mixed phase. And so this is, and what this shows also, what is interesting, if I go to this sort of very high alcohol limit, you see that already that at the high alcohol limit, we have a nice transition between sort of the liquid phase and the vapor phase, but it happens at very low temperature. So 350 degrees Kelvin, that corresponds to only something like 80 degrees. And so as soon as you heat it up, it will actually evaporate quite quickly. But if you have pure water, then typically water that's up here, then you need something like 100 degrees to evaporate the water. And in between, the evaporation rate goes down. So what this shows is that if I increase the concentration of alcohol, I'm going to have more and more vapor at sort of lower temperature. And in most of the alcohols we drink, which is sort of in this region of alcohol concentration, we can also have this interesting, at the interface between the liquid and the gas, we have this sort of mixed phase. And that happens to sort of fractions below like 70% of alcohol. And that's, so that would be a very strong alcohol like absinthe, which we're going to look at. And wine is sort of situated sort of in this region here. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. And where we can also see sort of this other effect of alcohol, which shows that instead of looking now at the vapor phase, we can look at also the solid phase. And that's why we can use alcohol as antifreeze, because if we put in, let's say, close to 100% of alcohol, it will freeze at very, very low temperature only. And so let's say for a harsh winter around minus 40 degrees, if you have an alcohol concentration of about 50%, it will not freeze until it reaches below minus 40 degrees. The fact that it also vaporizes so easily when you have a lot of alcohol, you can actually ignite alcohol very easily because of this kind of coexistence of the alcohol. And what is interesting is if you have a very essentially a very high percent alcohol, like 90%, then it can actually the flammability starts already at 70 degrees. So at very low temperature, or let's say room temperature, a little below room temperature, you're going to be able to actually ignite the alcohol. While if you take wine, which is sort of much lower percent of alcohol, you need something like 52 degrees to be able to actually make it burn and to sustain sort of the flame. And what we're going to use is absinthe, which is quite a strong alcohol, and it has about 70%. And you see that already at 20 degrees it will start to actually ignite. So let's have a look at what that looks like. An experiment using again this strong alcohol, absinthe, 70% of alcohol. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this bottle, I'm going to make a small hole in it, and then we're going to just vaporize the the absinthe inside the bottle. So let me make a hole. Okay, so I have a small hole inside the bottle. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that there's no water in there, empty it, and then I'm going to pour a little bit of absinthe inside this bottle. I don't need much, I just want the vapor. So this is a little bit of absinthe. And again, it's a very high percent. What is special with absinthe, it's a high percentage of alcohol. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to shake it. So I'm going to go up the roof. Try to light it on. Let's see what happens. This is the bottle after the rocket, and it's actually quite warm, really hot, so it bumped up, but then basically the temperature reduced, and that's why it's bulging inside now. And okay, so this was fun, and I usually say, don't try this at home, because I usually do that in class, but this time I guess it's a little different. Okay, well, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it.